Moon gang.
Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother.
Welcome back to the Thursday afternoon stream. Today, Thursday, September 23rd. AMC, GME, not really doing too much. Like, they're in the green, but they've been kind of just flat all day. So, hey, any green day is a good day. Green, 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 green. The more the green, the better. But it is interesting to kind of note what's going on in, like, look at this. We were talking about this in the Discord. This Russell 2000 push. I know we see those, like, systematic sell-off days, and we're like, whoa, what is going on? But look at this systematic buy day. Like, this is just crazy right here. Like, just slow and steady. The Russell 2000 just up, up, up. I had that target of 224.50. At first, I thought it was undershooting it, and then it kind of based, and now we're just pushing. We're at 225.50. Like, lots and lots of strength. The NASDAQ, not as strong, but still pretty strong on the day. And the SPY, not as extreme as the Russell 2000, and that's just because it pushed early this morning. But still, just like pushing. But like, the market is going higher and higher. And right now, we're actually seeing kind of the White House push. Like, I don't know, they're kind of pumping the market right here, the overall market. White House says administration taking every step to mitigate the effects of any potential shutdown. White House says looking to meet with senior congressional staff on Thursday, today, over spending measures, but nothing finalized. White House says ongoing U.S. Special Envoy to Haiti never raised his concerns about migration. So you just have some, I guess, bullish comments related to our market and really more of the debt ceiling scenario of them trying to get ahead of any potential issues or concerns. And this is exactly what it's just pumping. The market goes burr. This is the exact melt up thing that we've seen time and time again. And it's absolutely crazy to see this play out in the Russell 2000. Like, this is insane. Look at that. It's so perfect. So perfect. Obviously, people making some money on it. Thoughts on the SPY? I'm thinking YOLO calls. I think it would be better to actually do YOLO volatility puts. Remember, you don't want to get crushed by volatility. So if the SPY goes up, you're inherently saying, okay, I want this underlying to go up, and that's why you would buy a call. But if you're right in that, you're also like, for that to happen, volatility is going to go down. So that's not the best time to get into calls then. If you are personally confident in SPY, IWM, if you're confident in the market going up, right now a superior way to play that would probably be puts on volatility. And like, now you're betting on the volatility of volatility, such as VIX, VXX, UVXY, one of those guys. But you're expecting the volatility of volatility to pick up as it drops off because the market's doing so well. ATER, shout out in the Discord pointing out we might get a George W scenario, trying to get this the final stage of the W actually forming. Would love to see ATER back up around this 1375. Obviously, the higher the better, but that's the first area I'm really targeting above that 1470. But some buyers stepping into ATER. Let me know if that gets above 13. Every time I check IWM, it's just pushing more and more and more. This thing does not stop. This is just getting pumped, folks. Just pump galore. Let me make sure I have this rocking on Rumble. Don't want to forget about my Rumblers. I don't know what's going on there. All right, and we are also good on Twitch. We're also good. I wonder, like, so sometimes I see some of these gamers like with like a really zoomed in face. Should I just be like super close? Like, I feel like this is probably the best way to talk about stocks. It's just like all forehead, 100% forehead. 100% forehead, 100% effort all the time. This is how you gotta be just this close when you're talking about trading all times. Like, this will just become a forehead stream, I suppose. I'm sure there's a couple people right now who are just like, did Matt finally lose it? And the answer is a obvious and resounding yes. I have clearly lost it. But hey, you know what I like to say? You got to get a little lost to get a little found. And that's what we're doing right now. We're getting a little lost so we can get a little found. I can see your thoughts. All right, let's zoom this back out to how it should be. I was just testing it out. And really, I wanted to say that because that's how I live my life. That's one of my life mantras. You got to get a little lost to get a little found. All these people, they're always trying to find something. They're trying to find their purpose in life, find answers, this, that. I get it. But you know how you find stuff? Well, first you have to be a little lost. You got to be a little lost to get a little found. Could you check Ortex on KPLT? You know, just because you asked so nicely, I certainly can. Certainly. KPLT. Why is it not loading? Catapult Holdings. I think it's another financial conglomerate. All right, KPLT, short interest of 34.5%, shares on loan of about 13.5 million, and a utilization of 98%. What's that chart looking like on KPLT? KPLT getting a bit of a bid today, looking strong. I still like KPLT for a gap fill up to 930. I know there is this gap below it down to 360, so that's a little bit dangerous, which kind of makes it more of a difficult play. But I don't know. I still really do think that there's a shot of this gap fill. Who knows? Maybe it's going to gap fill both. Maybe both people are going to be right for whatever gap party you happen to be in. But we have a gap fill down to 362 and a gap fill up to 932. But based on the I think it's on the threshold list, utilization, short interest, and low float, I am favoring this gap fill more. But who knows? Maybe both are going to be right in reality. Maybe both will be right in reality. Forehead Gang, YOLO'd SPY calls, and this is sweet. Never thought about putting puts and VIX. You made me money so far. Why doubt you now? Thanks again. Uh-oh. I feel like that's like probably the moment where you're like, that's where it gets dangerous. Why doubt you now? Like that's probably when the fun has run its course. But hey, whatever you do, if you're doing it with reasonable risk reward, that's what you need to be doing. Like as long as your risk is in check, just make sure it's not going to get out of hand. Hey, Matt, I tweeted at you my fun way of explaining dark pools to the children who refuse to understand. Hope you like it. Sam B, I'll check that out. Concerning all your charts and smarty pants indicators, do you really think it beats the let Jesus take the wheel stock strategy? No, I don't. We were actually just talking about this of one of a top 5 trade for me this calendar year has been Hex, the crypto. I got it before I knew what it was. I just bought it because one of my friends who I trust, like he knows a lot about the market. He's like, yo, buy this thing called Hex. I was like, okay, can do. I did it. And percentage wise, it's one of my best trades of this year. And right there, that's like you said, the Jesus take the wheel trade. Hey, luck. If you could pick being skillful or lucky in the market, you're going to want to pick lucky like 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100. You would want to pick luck in the market over skill. And sometimes you just get lucky and it works out. Big green candles on Bitcoin. Yeah, crypto's still looking good right now. I mean, Bitcoin bouncing off of 41,000 all the way back up to 45. Would love to see this test of 47. And I do think it's coming sooner rather than later. Ethereum getting back over 3,000, bouncing off of 2,700. It's pushing 3,200. Hex bouncing off of, I don't know, somewhere between 36 and 38, already at 46. And Solana bouncing off of 115 back up to 150 already. We are seeing a crypto bounce, and crypto's bouncing right as the market's bouncing. I mean, this IWM's, whoa, a rare red candle for IWM today. You're not seeing too many of those. Interesting. But the market, I mean, IWM's up 1.94%. The Qs are up 1%. S&P 500's up 1.5%. Hey, it's a good day in the stock market. AMC currently up 1%. GME up 1.7%. We're seeing a lot of green in the market today. Take a look at DATS. Stats. NASDAQ. Dat chat package software. Oh, this thing's looking strong. It looks like it recently was listed or IPO'd or something back in mid-August. Since then, it shot up, then looked like crap, and then fought back, and now today it made a new all-time high. I'm not the biggest fan of buying at new all-time highs, but if you just like the company, like it depends on your time frame. is this a good point to get in day trade? Well, probably not. Maybe a good medium term though. And if you like the company and it's long term in the sector it's in, I mean, it's showing strength, like could be a good long term point right now. But I'm not one to just, I would have to have a very, very good reason of why I'm getting in at a new all-time high. People are talking about ATR breaking out of its downtrend. Is it? I would want to see it above 13 just from the support midday here. I would want to see it, and now resistance. I would want to see it recapture 13 on the intraday basis to be like, okay, I think it's changing trend. Where are you buying Hex? I can't find it on Voyager. Yeah, it's not on Voyager. I swapped mine on MetaMask. That's how I got it. Hex is not the easiest thing to get your hands on. It's not on like a Coinbase or Gemini or anything like that. You have to do the swap, or at least that's how I got it. Of all things I've lost, I miss my mind the most. Ozzy Osbourne, Matt Kohrs. Hey, Matt, SDC finally filled its gap. What you think from here? Can you please do Ortex utilization 98%, days to cover 4.25, short interest 59%, 3K shares at 589. Oh, let's take a look at SDC. Oh, okay. So it did gap fill to that 605. So what you're looking for, I don't know if the play would necessarily be today. Like I wouldn't be doing anything too crazy at the moment. I would be looking for, okay, we're at support. Let's see if it can actually bounce and get back above this 650-ish region. But you want demand to show up like now. You want buyers to step in. You don't want this to go much farther. And with you, I mean, you're still in profit because you're in at 589. Remember, just what is your risk? You don't want to let a trade go too far against you. I mean, I don't know when you got in. I'm assuming the most recent you could have got in was September 16th. So you had a nice profit at one point, and since then, unfortunately, it's been trading down the other way. Just don't let this work against you like an incredible amount. Like everyone has to define their own risk of what they're okay with risking. So lazy, vegan, hippie, please do that. But for what you're looking right now, from a technical perspective, regardless of where your entry is, you very much want it to bounce off of not only the key technical support, but it's also a key psychological level just because it's around dollar. So you're looking for demand to step in like now. 4 months and worth it. Thanks. How do you evaluate when to sell options? Example, I have ATR put at 1250 for October 17th. By the way, do you still code at all? My coding is actually recently, my most recent coding has been for my futures algorithms, just kind of messing around and tweaking some of those. So I really have not been in coding. 6 months ago, I coded way more than I do now. And it's just more of a time thing. But for my options, I'll do it one of two ways, or one of three ways. So some of my options, if I'm doing cover calls or credit spreads, I just let it go till expiration and hope it's below the price, and I look to retain max value. That's probably not what you're asking about. If I'm long on a put or a call, I'll either look for a price level in the underlying asset to get hit. I'm like, oh, this is resistance, I want to sell there, and I'll sell the option, whatever its corresponding value is. Or I'm looking for a certain percentage gain in the option. One of my favorite strategies, and I don't know if you could do this day over day, but one of my favorite strategies is very much to look for 100% gain, sell half of my premium, and then it becomes riskless and I let the other half ride. Or what you could do, there was a time period where whatever I did, I would just go for a 10% gain. I would do that for a while. I was trading options, and as soon as I was up 10%, I would sell. In fact, I would have a sitting sell order. As soon as I placed the trade, I would look for a 10% gain. You could do that depending on your money. Maybe you want to do 5%. Maybe you want to do 20%. It kind of depends on the volatility of the stocks that you're dealing with. But for a bit there, that's what I would do on Tesla, because Tesla could get to a 10% gain pretty easily. So I would just redo that over and over again and see if I could get that right. But with it, there's various ways. It depends on how you're playing options and your time frame and your account size and blah, blah, blah. But all of it is, whatever it is, create that plan beforehand. When you get into it, you should know like under what conditions would you exit and why would you exit. Shout out from Canada. You're a legend, bro. Check out INTL. IntelliBridge Tech 1,300% gains coming out of a nice consolidation, prime for another rip. INTL. Shout out to my Canadian listeners. It is basing, but right now you're in almost like a perfect bull flag. So this shot up and then a perfect downward channel. You just want to see this top trend line. You want to see that broke and like start to like pull that U-turn. That's how I would like choose my entry on INTL. What are your thoughts on ARBK? Just opened up. It just IPO'd, so I wouldn't mess with it just because you're going to see a lot of volatility. But hey, it looks fun. I mean, it's active. Like if you want volatility and movement, like ARBK might be good for you for a quick day trade or swing trade. But for me, I would just be a bit more patient on IPOs. I learned my lesson with Coinbase. I think at this point, the only stock and company that I would break my current IPO rule on, which is basically don't trade IPOs. The one I would break that on is Starlink, Elon Musk's like world internet project. I would break it for Starlink, but which hasn't IPO'd yet. I'll let you know when it IPOs because most likely I'll be breaking my rule and I'll buy it as soon as I can. Hey Matt, can you do a standalone video on how to buy Hex? You talked about it this morning. I definitely can, Curtis. Should I exit my 22,924 QS calls today? I already have secured an initial investment and some profit. That expire tomorrow? Yeah, Death Crew. I would. It to me, even being a riskier trader, you're carrying a lot of risk. So just because of theta, you need it to gap up just to retain your current value. Everything else held like constant, you need a gap up just to be at your same value as ending today. And because of that, unless you feel super, super confident in a gap up, which like, I don't know how you would ever really predict the odds of a gap up. So like if your gut is telling you stay in, well, hey, stay in. Maybe you want to trust your gut. But for me, I would be happy to lock in my money today, especially for something that is expiring tomorrow. Tagged you in a post yesterday of Kramer almost burning a sit down, making toast. Funniest handle is tight like tiger. Check it out. He's losing it. He is like he's definitely losing his mind. Could you give Joby a look, possibly a shout out, and let's go. What out, Miner Mike? So JOBY, it's a like a vertical, it's an aviation company, and they're like from an aviation standpoint, it's like the vertical takeoff and landing type of technology. It's up 12.5%. It's having a great day. Part of the reason why it's up is because Morgan Stanley just initiated coverage on it. And they actually started it off with like overweight, like they really like it. They think it's undervalued. And right now, I mean, the market's reacting well to it. It's up 12%. That's a killer day. It shot up. They try to smack it down and it's fighting back. And right now it's almost setting up a cup and handle. If this thing starts pushing 11:20, this thing might really get moving. Not 11:20, 11:10, excuse me. But JOBY showing some strength. Joby Aviation. I love you, man. I don't know. I am now addicted to listening to you while driving and in my headphones. Best positive dude ever. Shout out. That's very nice. I'm addicted to you, man. You always get some of the most absurdly nice comments from Canadians. It's so funny. It's like one of the nicest. It's a nice stereotype that the stereotype of Canadians is that they're nice. It's like it's an odd stereotype. Matt, welcome back, sir. Amy, Jimmy, and BB looking good. I'm on Sens now. And wow, Sava, shout out Eric. Matt, dude, why did I get banned from Discord? I did nothing. Mike, I don't think there were any bannings or anything like that. Maybe this is like a Patreon mess up, I want to say. Mike, shoot me a DM on Discord, on Twitter. We'll get to the bottom of it, but there were no Discord banning, so it sounds like a tech mess up. But Mike, figure out to reach out to me. You could also DM like the Moon Gang merch, and they can get you in contact with me on Twitter, like on their page. But we'll get to the bottom of it. Frank M becoming an astronaut. Bowley, I think it's Bully becoming a space ape. Shout out. Why is there no fun voices right now? Situation, bought ATR at 11.98, looking weak today. Would you hold or bounce? Thank you always, brother. So judging on the news of ATR, I really do think it's a market overreaction of what's going on. They're using some stock to pay off their debt. I think it's an overreaction. What'd you get in at? You're in at 11.98. So you either got in at like one of the best prices of the day, or you were in previously. So you're still positive on it. And I know it sucks to see some of your gains dwindle, but trust me, it sucks more when it goes red. With it, if I don't have ATR, so I'm trying to give you the most unbiased view I possibly can. I don't think this one is done. I don't think it went up and they smashed it. I think people are overreacting to the news. I don't think the news is really that bearish. I mean, I saw a little bit of like they were talking about dilution. I mean, to the point that I was even saying dilution. And then we looked into it and we're like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. They're just using stock to pay off some of their debt and get rid of their debt. So that's not like being held over their heads. I think that's a smart business move. It tells me the people at the helm of this company have a good business sense. I don't think it's done. Maybe I'm just being a bit optimistic. I don't think I am because I don't have a position. I don't have really anything to be optimistic about. I just, if anything, I think it's a discount. Regarding Kramer's old video where he openly talks about his market manipulation strategies, why haven't they charged him? I don't know. He says a lot of things that I don't get. Do you know? Okay, so the other day, like we don't even have to go back that far. Like I've seen that video and it's a crazy video. We could go back a couple weeks, like 2 weeks, where he just tweeted out buy AMC. Do you know how much shit I would get if I just tweeted out buy AMC? The amount of times I need to remind people that I'm not a financial advisor, don't copy me. Nothing I say is like buy or sell advice. It's not financial advice. If anything, I only give out relationship advice. I don't get it. I guess he just gets a free pass. Do you know how much like mainstream media would lose their freaking minds if like someone like Trey or myself just tweeted buy AMC? Like that would be so dangerous. I just don't get it. I've never been more mad at Kramer than I am right now when he said people are going to need Narcan for their Kramer addictions. I mean, I don't think heroin addiction or overdose are funny. Do you? No, that was out of all the things he's tweeted when he's fighting with our community. That was the one that was like, I don't know. That's messed up. That one, I guess for me, right now, the Narcan, like the drug that's used to help with people that are like basically ODing with like a pretty disgusting addiction. I guess I didn't address it because I was like, oh wait, Matt, like, are you just having an emotional reaction? The area I'm from, it's okay. So I'm from originally like born and bred in Northeast PA. Some people refer to the area I'm from as like basically like the heroin highway because of the way it's distributed throughout the US. To my understanding, a lot of it comes from Northeast PA when it goes from like the Northeast corner to the rest of the world. And geographically, it's a rural town, and that also like it gives you strong indications about like the poverty level of my area and the education. Basically, my area is highly susceptible to people getting addicted to these types of drugs. And about my hometown, it's a very small area. I would say about once a month, someone is dying from it. It's bad. It's an epidemic or whatever the proper word would be. I saw that and I had an emotional response because I have friends in the area that are like currently battling with this stuff. And it's just super disgusting. So I didn't say anything because I was like, well, Matt, like maybe this is just hitting a little too close to home for you. I'm glad someone else noticed it, but I don't know. It's weird because when you say things and you're doing a bit, like sometimes you're like, okay, where's the line? Like, what can you joke about? What can't you joke about? So that one, I just thought he was being like a bit of a dick, not really understanding some of the state of like where America's at right now with these drug addiction issues, especially like referencing Narcan. A lot of people day over day are losing their battle with that. So like, it's not something I would joke about. And I don't think it's something he should have joked about, but I don't know. I guess you do have freedom of speech and people could say what they want. And he said what he wanted to say. And I was like, oh, wow, you're a dick type of a deal. Someone needs to take Kramer's phone. It's sad watching a full-grown adult throw temper tantrums. Do you ever review OTC stocks like ILUS and Strong DD and Strong Revenue? I'll look at it, but I would highly prefer, like, I'm not going to trade it because I don't want to trade on the gray market. This one is looking good. It's making a lot of people a lot of money. This is a very strong chart. I tend to not, like, you could see right here, OTC, that means it's on the gray market. My reasoning for not liking it is it's not so much because of the companies, it's because that market is less regulated. So if you have issues with the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange of how they're being regulated and you think there's too much manipulation, there's way more of that going on in this. So it's not because of the companies, it's because of the market that they're on. And I just know that they have less oversight. So I think that could be problematic. But if we're just here to talk about technicals, this is looking very strong. And if it continues upward, it could actually get uplisted to the NASDAQ. And then that becomes a whole different story. Hey, Matt, I have a feeling soon Elon Musk will post a picture of him and Doge watching a movie at AMC, and that will help pump the crypto and stock. Oh, brother, if that happens, it totally will. Like, people will lose their mind. I hope it, oh, my Lord. I think that would be awesome. Sorry. I just got a message from Kramer's Micropeen that things are getting a little awkward for me. I am 4 years sober. 2 years ago, discovered my obsession with furniture, painting, and now that's my drug. I am semi-famous and can't complain of you, homie. Shout out Tommy's Touch. Matt, you need what you need to see for you to jump back into AMC calls. Thanks. I just want to see the volatility start to pick up because right now it's definitely suffering through IV crush. I like that it's holding 40. Maybe a nice break and hold above 41.50. That just me studying volatility, that would probably see a nice uptick. But right now it's just volatility super low. And I mean, today is it's a premium crush day. Like AMC's in the green, which is awesome, but it's kind of done nothing all day. It gapped up, sold off a little bit, held green, and now it's just flat. So these are not good days to be an option. Like I want nice trending days, preferably high volatility trending days. And we're actually seeing the opposite of that right now. It's just premium burn. I'm from Massachusetts. Literally, most of my friends are dead from it. I'm sorry if that opened a wound. Sending love and hugs. Oh, no. You're good. It's just, it's weird because like it's one of those things where I'm in no fan of the PC culture of saying, oh, you can't joke about this. You can't joke about this. Like, I think people should be able to joke about anything they want. If you make a funny joke, you make a funny joke. If it's funny, people will laugh. And when you're in a certain territory that you know is going to be sensitive to people, it better be a really good joke. And to me, it just wasn't a funny joke. So he got into a territory referring to Jim Cramer and Narcan and like his addiction thing. I guess maybe he made a joke, but it just didn't land at all. So like to me, if you can make people laugh, you get a free pass. But then certain things, you better be pretty damn funny to make it work. And it just wasn't funny. I don't know. So like, that it just sucked. Kramer needs a timeout, sits in the corner with the dunce cap on. Lost my older brother and younger sister to addiction. It's no joke. Love you, Matt. Thanks for keeping me company. Shout out. Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess we all have our own lines. And for me, that's just not a line of something that I would even attempt to try to make funny because there's not much humor to be found in the scenario. I guess it's weird, and that's why I really didn't like address. Like I addressed a little bit in my update video. I was just like, "Oh, Kramer's having a breakdown," but like, he's Kramer, folks. He's just Kramer. Like, I don't know. He's just like the dude. In a weird way, like I don't know. We're in a certain way. I do feel bad for him because we're watching a guy spiral, and it's just. You're watching it and like, I don't know if he keeps going down this path, do you really think he'll still have his job? Like, it's not like mainstream media is happy with him, like always engaging and fighting. Like we're seeing this like this older guy who at one point was highly, highly respected, highly, highly lauded. Like he was a hot commodity. Like every mainstream media wanted him. And right now, like, I mean, is this how he's going to end his career? Is like the final notes of his career were just like day in and day out fighting with people on Twitter? Like I that's sad. Can you check AMC or text? Yes. AMC or text. So they've borrowed 1.73 with a net return of 1.4 million because the return shares was 3.12 million. Short interest still notably high, 20.1%. Utilization 90%. Shares on loan 114 million. Short interest 20.4. So that's how we started the day off, and now just because of the net return, it's dropped by about 0.2%. Interesting numbers. It definitely took a switch at the end of the day. But remember, these return shares, I think a lot of people, they're like, whoa. Like when I'm told about return shares, I'm told that means green because for them to return it, they have to buy shares back. But remember, for them to buy back shares, the earliest they did it was 2 days ago. So it's not like these return shares are shorts that were covered today. In fact, they're definitely not shorts that covered today. If anything, they're shares that went out on loan and then were never shorted and are just being returned, or they were shares that went out on loan, went short at earliest they were covered 2 days ago, and they're now being returned today. That's very important. That's why this says return shares, because they were returned today. There's no delay in that. They're actively returned today. That's why it's called return shares and not like shorts covered or shorts covering or anything along those lines. We're a generation that grew up with Eminem, South Park, Family Guy. When the F did we all become so sensitive and easily offended? I mean, I can't speak for other people, but I mean, I still think in what I said of like, I think people should be able to say whatever they want. And it's, if you say it out there, like, hey, if it's funny, it's funny. So like right there, you're talking about Eminem, South Park, Family Guy. I would say the difference there. So Eminem, one of the most like highly respected rappers ever, it's because like if it's done well, people will have a tolerance for it. South Park and Family Guy, the way they can pull off talking about such sensitive things is because they make it absolutely hilarious. To me, that's the difference. Is if you want to be in that arena and talk about sensitive topics, well, you just have to make it either really, really funny or produce some of the best like rap ever. It's, to me, the difference is in the actual execution of it. Like if people can make it funny and if the audience perceives it to be funny, okay, well, you did it well. But that kind of holds true with everything. It doesn't even have to be a sensitive topic. That's the world they're in. That, to me, that's the big difference. Is South Park and Family Guy are hilarity. Have you read the disclaimer on the Hex website? What are your thoughts? Hex.com/disclaimer. I have not read it. I'll check it out. I'll pull it up. Let me pull it up just so I remember to read it later. But me now knowing a little bit about disclaimers, this is probably just something for us like that the lawyers all write up probably for many, many of them. But I'll go through it. The first thing I'm seeing here is the Howey test, and it's not a security. I mean, that is pretty important. You don't want it to be defined as a security. Narcan has literally saved my life before, and now I have 9 years clean and sober. Not a good joke, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's my opinion as well. Like, he didn't make it funny. And he, like, the dude's just losing his mind. Like, he's just engaging. He's fighting more and more with these people. And in a way, as we continue to engage with him, it is benefiting him because he's getting more followers, likes, views. Do you know how many people have now probably bought his product at like the street just because they didn't even know who Jim Cramer was? They saw the apes fighting with him and they're like, oh, I'll look into him. And they'll be like, oh, I don't like him, but maybe he has good information here. And then they look more into him. Like, in a certain way, us fighting with him and giving him relevance is actually making him more wealthy, and it's making him more rich because he's just selling more stuff. It kind of comes back to the adage of just like no PR is bad PR. He's getting more attention, he's getting more clicks, and more people are buying his stuff. I'm 4 years. All right, we did that. I think I'm up to date. I'm trying to not miss anything. Dunce cat. All right, I think. Could you take a look at Hexo? Hexo. It's not really trading. It's a $2 stock that only trades 8 million shares. That's kind of a low amount. Oh, and this thing is just selling. It looks super weak to me. Maybe if it starts to bend back around, you could eye up the gap fill, but like there have been no bulls involved in this ever since May. Like all this has been is like pure selling. So that I wouldn't try to catch a falling knife. Like I would want to see some people like actually buying this thing before I buy it. Matt, check your Twitter account. I just sent a link to Robinhood court case. It has great screenshots of their conversations. Interesting. I'd love to check that out. That Eminem quote is from Tom McDonald. I got calls expiring from 4:45 on SB and should wait with it being so close or sell for a day trade. Bought today. 4:45 on the S&P. Should I wait for people? If you're up right now, if I were you, I wouldn't swing it just because it needs to gap up. This is someone who was asking this a little bit earlier. It needs to gap up for you just to retain your value because like you're going to have some pretty serious theta, especially if it's expiring tomorrow. I'd rather lock in the money and have the money in my account than like risking it because if it doesn't gap up, you might get in trouble. And then if you like the action tomorrow, you could always re-enter tomorrow at more of like a boring part in the day and just get a further out expiration one. So to me, it seems like a no-brainer that you might as well lock it in. And then if you still like it tomorrow, you could just buy a more optimal expiration date. I'm not one for anecdotal MOAS indicators, but I have 106 AMC in this Doe app, and I just got an email saying that they're shutting by October 31st, so I got to sell my shares or transfer. Kind of sus, right? I mean, it might just be going down as a company, the Bruta. So what you could do, 106 transfer. I mean, just kick off the transfer because like you're not going to lose ownership then. You either kick off the transfer or just sell it all and then use that exact same amount of money and buy on a different app. But like you could get rocking with something like Public pretty quickly. AMC on sale. Shout out Digital Cocaine. Can you take a look at Yummy Coin? Yeah, I'll put it down to kind of research it and see what the project's about. Yummy Coin. Let me write this down. I also need to look into Upland. Yummy. All right, got it. All right, I think I'm good there. CEI is on the move. Soapy Gorilla. It is on the move. Oh, it actually just did a gap fill. Sweet. So CEI finally filled the gap from February 22nd. So right there, I think this is a good thing of when I'm talking about gap fills, they don't have to happen the next day. This gap fill took, 7 months, over half a year for this gap to get filled on CEI. So I think this is actually a good learning lesson of like, okay, don't think that gap fills like have to happen that day, that week, that month. This one took 7 months. It did gap fill, which is awesome. But it can take some time. Well, even this gap that it had in December, that didn't get filled until April. But CEI, flexing, it's currently at resistance. If it keeps pushing, I would watch 225 as the next level. But CEI, it shot up, it consolidated. I mean, I guess if you were bullish on it, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, around $1.70, and hoping that it did exactly what it ended up doing, which is... That's awesome if you're in it. I have no CEI position, but watch the reaction to 2 and then watch 225. Wait, what is it? O-A-A-O-A. Pa. I don't get that one, Mattery. Sean, the Discord thing, I don't, no one was banned. So I think it's a tech issue with Patreon. We'll get to the bottom of it with Mike. What's your opinion on GREE? Right now, this when people talk about catching a falling knife, that's what's going on with GREE. Like red, just keep selling. Maybe like you need to see some green. You need to see some buyers. Like I don't just put your hand out there and hope that the knife stops right before it. I would want to see it like actually start to have some momentum. What else do we have? Can you check Ortex ATR? Well, it hasn't changed much. It's still around 55% uses, just so you know. Like highly shorted. Highly shorted. And it's currently sitting at just above 12, which is roughly its intraday low. Roughly. Did you check out the YouTube hex clip? So hype, 0.5% about to go. Luke, I did. I think it was awesome. I checked it out over break. I was talking to some people. I don't think... I'm waiting for a response from YouTube just to see if I could play it because some of the sounds, I don't know if it's technically copywritten. And I already piss off YouTube enough. I don't want to do it again. So if it's good to go and if I get the all clear from YouTube itself, I'll play it on tomorrow's stream. But if you want to know more about Hex, like there's like a quick little trailer that I think is cool to check out. Just if you see the Netflix, it's like a Netflix doc on Hex. The doc's not out yet, but they have like a little bit of a hype trailer thing. KPLT gapping up to 950. I think there's a good shot of it going to 930. Can you look at AMD? Bouncing off 100 lower highs. We're looking forward to get out of this trend finally. Would love to see it push above 110, 112. I like AMD. I like the semiconductor industry. AMD, Intel, NVIDIA. NVIDIA is my favorite, but I still like all of them. I think that all of them are money makers. Those calls are only 50 cents away from the strike, but expire tomorrow, I meant. Yeah, Proscape, if I were you, I would lock in the gains. But that's just me. If it ends up gapping up and ripping, you would have made more money if you held, but I don't know if I would want to take that bet on like a single day trade. You're looking for a cannabis company to get into that you should only have... So Danny, I think one of the easiest ways to play the Marinara sector is through the ETF MJ, as in Mary Jane, because then you get exposure to a lot of the major cannabis plays, and all you have to do is get the ETF. Meta Materials, isn't that MMAT? I don't have it. I know a lot of people are talking about it. It's looking strong. If it closes above 520, that's even better. But MMAT, it's looking good, and I know a lot of people are paying attention to it. With it, you have to dive into a little bit of info about what's happening with the acquisition that they did with TRCH. Like that's kind of where the play's coming from. So it's not the most obvious play, I'll put it that way, but it's definitely a play and it's getting traction. Like there's definitely a lot of people talking about it. I have no position on it, but I do, from the chart, I want to see this momentum continue. You have neglected to add limes or rockets for over a week now. The charts have spoken and are mad. Go green. All right. Let me throw up to lime and let's see how this helps with the remainder of the day. We'll put in the lime target on AMC and GME. Good call out. Good call out, Andrew. Got 15 calls for ATR 1015 and bought 1455 against day trade limits, but past my risk. Would you sell but limit or hold through 1014? Big shop, that's a struggle. I've been there before. I'm like, this is my risk, but then I can't get out because of a day trade. That's tough. It's not a good situation to be in. When it comes to ATER, I would not violate it. Like, I would personally hold and be like, okay, I know I'm a bit past my risk, but it's really a tough situation. You're just, it's luck. It's luck. When you have a plan and you can't stick to it because of pattern day trading, it sucks. And pattern day trading, it's a stupid, archaic rule. I have no idea why it's even a thing. It's so incredibly frustrating. With ATER, I'm still optimistic about it. So I would probably swing it and just hope that it's nothing crazy happens overnight. Can you look at SDAO? All right, I'll put that under the yummy coin, Leonardo. SDAO. Got it. All right, let's see what these limes can do. I would like the NASDAQ. The reason I've had this one up today is I'm just trying to better understand why it's been on a relative basis. It's green on the day, obviously, but compared to the Russell 2000 and the SPY, I'm just curious why it's a bit weaker. Just didn't gain as much. And it's actually the last one to do its gap fill. Just kind of something weird about the tech world right now. ATER still a viable short squeeze play? I think so. I do. That doesn't mean it has to squeeze, but it's Ortex. If you're looking for the short interest, it's still around 55. Like, within one day, you don't see a huge change typically in short interest. Like, it's going to be the same as this morning. We checked it a little bit ago. It's in that world of 55-ish%. What do you think about BBIG? Ever since the not so good proxy vote, BBIG has been losing a little bit of its luster. It is bouncing off a 6. Like, I would look for 6 to hold. If it doesn't, you're then talking about 550, which is the low from August 31st. It bounced off of 551. It's still battling it out at 6. It's being sold off for sure ever since September 10th. I would want to see a bounce back around and relatively quickly. Like, it's at that level. Like, you want the bounce to happen now. But BBIG, ever since that proxy vote and the way the vote went and what it really meant for BBIG, not the most ideal. Veronica, no. Do I have to pay this guy to see my question? No. I mean, I can't read every chat. Like, do you guys see how like insane this chat moves sometimes? Like, there's like no way I could see it all. I just kind of look over and sometimes it's just luck. And I'm like, oh, I'll read this one. Sam, shout out. What are your thoughts on the penny stock BBM.B? Probably not going to be good. BBM.B. I don't even know what market this would be on. What are your thoughts? Nathan, what market is this trading on? Are you talking about Blueberries Medical Corp? Or are we talking about BBMG? BBM.B. Yeah, I'm not too sure about which one you're actually referring to, unfortunately. Maybe, is it Blueberries? Is this a penny stock? If this is the one, if you're asking about Blueberries Medical Corp, I don't think you are, but if you are, I wouldn't trade it or touch it. SDC, it finally gap filled. So kind of the same as BBIG. Both need to bounce off a 6 and bounce off a 6 like now. If they don't, the bears might build up a little bit too much momentum and start running it down. Bombardier is the Toronto. So was I right? Sam, the Ortex on AMC is about just over 20% short interest right now with a net return on the day of about 1.7 million shares. BBM, Toronto. So it's going to be one of these, and it's probably the exact same thing. Yeah, if this is what you're like, this is a bad looking chart. I would not mess with it. No way. No way would I do it. Ocean Coin has done well for me. Have you looked into it? No, but I don't know if she's listening. She's a crypto fan in the Discord. She's told me a little bit about it. I'll look into that one, Doug. Can someone tell Will Mead we need a final catalyst for these things to squeeze? I bought calls on these dips and I'm getting destroyed. RIP. Yeah, your volatility is working against you, unfortunately, because as it goes up, even though you're getting the bounce right, if you're talking about the overall market, volatility will inherently have to be weaker. What else do we have? Domino's gap fill. DPZ, Domino's Pizza. DPZ. It does look like it wants to do this gap fill. I see exactly what you're seeing. Not, I think you said June. I think you mean July. But anyway, yeah. We're seeing the same thing, Jason. It's slowly but surely selling off. I would want to see what happens at 484 and what happens at 476. I would look for that gap fill to 476. I don't know how quickly it will or won't play out, but I think eventually Domino's does fill this gap. Jared, could you stop spamming, please? Oh. All right, hang on. Bombardier Airplane Company. Is it this one? Bombardier BOMBF, perhaps? I think this is what you're talking about. So it's not really being traded much at all. What is this stock? This is the daily chart, and it's like no range. I don't know. Something's weird going on here. In general, it does seem like it's trending upward, which I think is interesting. But like, it looks like I'm missing data. I don't think this is like the full data set on it. But what I can see of it, it has a very nice uptrend. It looks like it recently broke out of some resistance. But it seems like this is a data issue with what I have in getting the data. All right, what else do we have? Where can I find the number of shares available to borrow? You would have to look at the utilization on Ortex. You do not want to use something like Fintel or Stonko Tracker, because those are only giving you the information about interactive brokers. It's accurate, but it's only a very small like part of the overall picture. When there is some confusion about the question, it would be great if your mods would reach out to the message buyer or provide a way to ID the mods. Yeah, all the mods, you can see it. They're in purple. Like they talk right here. Like you just at them. Like you would at Jackie, you would at Trey's chest hair, you would at Seraphim, you would at Transparency Project. Like their names are showing up in purple. And to get a hold of them, like you can at them the way you can like at me, and they'll see your message that way, Scott. So see, yeah, Seraphim, she just messaged you. You would just at her, and then it pops up as a different color for them, so it makes it a little bit more noticeable. Fuzzy G is here as well. So all these purple names are mods that you could hey, Matt, do you think Ortex is worth the cost versus FinViz for finding potential short squeezes? FinViz, like the data quality of Ortex is not just a little bit better, it's exponentially better. So I really like FinViz for certain things such as like recent news of what's going on. But you're comparing like FinViz is Little League baseball and it's Little League, and then like Ortex would be major leagues in terms of like data quality difference. Huge difference. Actually, I don't even know how I would personally use FinViz to like track down short squeeze plays. I think what I would do is with Ortex, I would know the short interest, I would know the float, I would know the utilization, but still in terms of like what is the stock to even search, that's when you have to kind of have your pulse on like the community and see what other stocks people are talking about. So that could be StockTwits, FinTwit, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, all of those. Or even if you don't want to use social media, one way you could do it is just use the threshold list as your list of like, okay, these are potential candidates. Go to the NASDAQ threshold list, the New York Stock Exchange threshold list, and then back check all of those stock and see if people are talking about it. Like, but maybe use that as your list and like start crossing ones off the list. Be like, okay, is it traded? Is there volume? What's the short interest? Is it in a good sector? Maybe that's another way you could do it, but that info is free. So what I would do, especially if you don't want to mess around like on like just deep diving into social media day in and day out, I would use the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ threshold list and then work backwards from there and check out their charts, check out their info on Ortex. That's how I would probably do it, I think is a reasonable way. BDRBF. BDRBF. Oh, wait. Okay, so this one has more info now. Looks super strong. Very, very nice uptrend off of 20 cents. What aerospace and defense. So I'm still not the biggest fan of penny stocks, but I mean, man, this one, it's at resistance right now, 160. If this pushes, I would watch 180. And then you actually have a gap fill on this guy up to $1.70, and then another one up to 206. So I would watch $1.70 and then 206. Might take a bit because it's already been running like a lot. So maybe the technicals are a bit too hot. I mean, but I guess nothing's really stopped it from November. This thing just keeps slowly but surely going upwards. Hey, Matt, are there any YouTubers that you would recommend / trust to follow for crypto updates and news? So if you're looking for generic crypto updates, I personally like watching BitBoy and Cryptos Are Us. Like if you're looking for like the news updates, if you're looking for just really informative videos of like, okay, what's this crypto? How can I buy it? I would say Andre Jick and Brian Jung are my two favorite. So for generic crypto news, like daily news, BitBoy Crypto and Cryptos Are Us. For like kind of informative, like how to and like more in-depth dives into those things, I would say Andre Jick and Brian Jung. And then you can even go even more into, there are channels that are meant for like specific cryptos. So like if you want to know more of what's going on with Doge, you would probably follow Final Stand. If you want to know more what's going on with Hex, you would follow Richard Hart. So you can get like very, I guess like microscopic with it of like what degree you want. But higher level, those are like Andre Jick, Brian Jung, BitBoy Crypto, Cryptos Are Us. And then from there, I would go into like the specific crypto you want. And I bet there's going to be a channel for that specific crypto. And I'm sure there's many, many more. I'm just saying those are the ones that I've come across. Like there might be amazing people out there who have just not hit my algorithm yet. Let me put it this way. Is there a crypto account that I personally know about that I would advise you against? No. There's not one that I'm like, no, this person sucks. They give out wrong info. Those are just the ones that the YouTube algorithm has served to me, and I just like their content, and I keep watching their content. Max Mayer's really, really good, especially if you want to stay up to date on Cardano. So he's not crypto exclusive. He does other things as well. Big fan of Max. I'm buddies with Max. I like Max. And so if you want to know more about Cardano, Max is a good channel for that. I don't think he talks too much about like other ones. I know he did a crypto crash video recently, which was a good one. But he has a lot of amazing info on ADA, on Cardano. And that's what I'm saying is like on the specific ones, you could find a creator that talks like explicitly about that coin that you're interested in. Good question though, Tom. William, shout out. Hey Matt, what's your opinion on Theta goes down and how much should the IV be for good gains? So IV is kind of, there is a generic magnitude, I would say, of like, okay, this is lower, this is high. But IV, you want to use it in relative to that own stock of like that stock's low IV, that stock's high IV. I wouldn't say there's like a magnitude of in general of like, oh, I guess there kind of is, but not really. Like you're going to get very good at noticing like how a particular stock moves or how it doesn't move or something like that. When do option thetas go? Theta is like throughout. It's like a very slow gradient, and you'll see the most dramatic impact of it from the close of one night to the opening of the next day. But it is slow. Go long on Vice. Shut up, Matt Stuck Suspenders. Ticker VRTX, Vertex Pharma. It's a long-term play. I mixed up the letters the other day. Background in phase 3 clinical trials for using medicine to help cure cystic fibrosis at the genetic level. Roughly 2 genetic diseases are in clinical trials as well. VRTX. Well, I hope they get this trial soon, but hey, I mean, if it starts to bend back around, you have a gap up to 211 and a huge gap up to 270. So if this company can get some like approvals and do well on tests, you're definitely looking at some pretty awesome gap fills on it. The Kohrs Light thumbnails are amazing. Long on Wendy's. Yeah, we've been putting as like the team that works with me. We've been putting a lot. I mean, I just like those thumbnails. Like they're cracking me up. And I hope you guys enjoy them. It's a little bit better than I think some of the boring thumbnails I've been putting out. Just makes it more clickable, makes it more fun. Hey, MacD, what's the deal with BBIG proxy? So the proxy vote already happened, and it's just, there's some major reasons that, like, in all reality, I don't have my head fully wrapped around, but there's it's just not good for it. It's just the proxy vote, and you're going to find more information, especially if you check out True Demon on Twitter. There's more of a breakdown there in his reasoning. But what you need to know about it is the financial situation and what was voted on and how it all played out. To my understanding, it favored the bear camp and not the bull camp. But with it, I don't have BBIG, so if you're in it and like I don't want to spread FUD or freak anyone out, don't buy or sell. Just quickly look into it, and maybe you come up with a different reasoning because of the proxy vote. I'm just telling you, look into the proxy vote. There's a big reasoning related to the proxy of why the stock's been selling off. Maybe you agree with it, maybe you disagree with it. So before you do anything, I implore you to do your DD on BBIG's proxy vote. If the big banks don't come up with 1 trillion by October 1st, will that affect AMC? I don't know if I'm the big banks. Why would the big banks come up with 1 trillion by October 1st, Henry? What's my opinion on fuel cell? Fuel cell breaking out of this range. Would love to see it up at 830. And then we have the next range of supply in the 930s, but fuel cell looking strong. Before when we were talking about, I was like, hey, I want to take it out of this region of demand. It finally got out. I think it's heading up to this region around the 9s. All right, I think we did that. AMC and Doge to the moon. What's your take on NAK? Do you have insight into where you think it could go? NAK? Apparently higher. It looks like there's major resistance at 60 cents. So the risk reward is not favorable right now. Your risk is somewhere in the 40s and you have about 3 cents to go. So if you're in it, congrats. And of course it could break out and keep going. I would just want to dive into why is it moving. It looks like it's a mining company, a minerals company. I mean, great gain on the day, up 22%, but it just feels like another penny stock, like pump and dump type of a deal. And you can make money on pump and dumps. Like, don't get me wrong, you definitely can. It's just don't get burned. Like, you want to make sure your risk is close. Can you take a look at the ATNX gap fill? I know you don't like the medtech, but I got it for it. It's all drug FDA approved. Cut and ride it out. ATNX. I feel like people have asked. You got in at 4. Sell off due to drug not being FDA approved. Cut or ride out. I mean, with this, I mean, the technicals are not good. So if you remain in the play, it would be because of you studying up on the company and be like, okay, I get that they lost that drug, but do they have another drug being tested? Is there anything going on? Do they have successful tests? Like, if you still think that there's value in this, like if they're doing something well, maybe they're going to get another drug approval that helps it. But to me, this wouldn't be a technical play. And I rarely think that pharma plays are technical plays. You want to know a bit more about the potential success or the continued success of their company. I'm still curious, Henry, what you mean by this 1 trillion by October 1st. Like, why are big banks coming up with 1 trillion? Best Inc. I mean, I would want to see it test 2 and see how it reacts to it. If it gets smacked, you might want to lock it in, but maybe you'll get lucky and it breaks out and keeps going to 250 would be the next one. I would want to see a test of 2 and see how the stock reacts to it. I'm trying to... What's going on? I'm just trying to find some more info on this. The high quality capital for... Yeah, I'm not, I guess, not up to date. Short the VIX talks about banks needing 1 trillion by October 1st. I'm unaware of that. I don't know why. I guess I need to look into it a bit more. This is the first time hearing about it, of like what it is or what it isn't. We are answering the questions about the banks. So what's it for, though? Like, who are they paying this money to? Or like, what position are they covering? I think there's like, there has to be more to this story. All major banks as of October 1st are being required to hold 1 trillion in quality equity. It's a real thing. Okay, I mean, if they know that that's coming, they've probably been working on it. It's not like the government would just surprise them with it. They've probably known that it's... Wait, 1 trillion? All major banks as of October 1st are being required to hold 1 trillion in quality equity. Quality equity. I'm sure that has an interesting definition. So I'm assuming this is people like Wells Fargo and Morgan Stanley and Capital One, or I don't know even if Capital One would make that list of... I don't know what, like... He's talking about reverse repos. Okay, reverse repos is a different thing. That would be a very, very different thing. Okay, so I'm seeing some differing things of what people are talking about here. I'm going to have to dive into it and see what's going on. What do you think about Sava? But overall, when people are talking about the macroeconomic situation, this bank thing is not really coming up. It seems like it's more important of what's the Federal Reserve doing, what's going on with Evergrande, and what's going on with the debt ceiling. This bank thing is not really making the list of having an impact on the overall market. So to the degree that it's not really being discussed, I don't think it's going to have some crazy impact on AMC and GME specifically. Maybe, so people are saying it's the 35 biggest banks. So the top 35, it sounds like, I don't know if it's for reverse repos or for some other reason. Banks are going to need 1 trillion in liquidity in case of crisis. It was discussed mainly on Reddit. Yeah, so whatever it is, maybe it has an impact on the overall market, which we have recently seen can have an impact on AMC and GME. But will it directly have an impact on AMC and GME? No. If anything, it would be like an indirect influence. But let me look into it a little bit tonight. I'm not. I think most people are saying this is being discussed on Reddit, so I'll have to pull up those threads and see what's going on. Matt, it sounds like this is news to you. This has been discussed ad nauseum for quite a while. No, I mean, I don't think it's been discussed ad nauseum. Anyone who's been following AMC and GME for any amount of time should know this. I don't think so. I mean, my part of my job is to follow AMC and GME. Literally, that's like it. You'd be surprised, but I follow AMC and GME quite a bit, and this bank liquidity thing, I don't know. It sounds like it's exclusively making its rounds in Reddit, but mainstream media is not talking about it. I don't see it being discussed on Discords. I don't see it being discussed on Twitter. I believe it's being discussed. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think. You can't think that Reddit is the end all be all of like the importance of what's going on in AMC and GME. Report to General Kohrs, the German ape army start attack of the Hedgies, the first division by NKLA yesterday, waiting for second phase over and out. Unrelated to AMC, I'm very interested. Any chance you can include more info about this in tonight's info? Oh yeah, no. I'm happy to look into it, but it doesn't seem like this is new news or anything. And I'm also, I mean, just even from how it's being discussed, I don't see its connection to AMC or GME. I see that it could have an impact on the market. Like when you're talking about, it's kind of weird to think that requiring banks to have trillions of dollars like isn't somehow representative of something they're trying to do with AMC and GME when together they're what, 20 billion, they're $35 billion like in market cap. And now we're talking about what, the top 35, 34 banks all having $1 trillion. To me, that type of thing, it's like a macroeconomic thing, not necessarily related to like the MOAS. Who is this? Those capital requirements ensure that the large banks tested will hold roughly $1 trillion in high quality capital, enough to survive a severe recession and still be able to lend to households and businesses. To me, it was, it kind of has the same vibes of all these new NSCC, OCC, like all those rules. To me, it kind of has like the indication of it's just good prep in case like everything hits the fan, that it's like a backstop to how bad things can get. To me, it sounds like they're just trying to implement some rules of if like worst case scenario happens, they're trying to mitigate the fallout of a worst case scenario. But this idea of a worst case scenario of like the overall economy getting hit or the overall stock market getting hit, that's completely different than AMC and GME individually. Yo, Matt, I dropped 10K on ATR, got in around 12. Any thoughts on the stock? ATR, it's not having the best day, but it had a really good day yesterday. It's at 1150 right now. So they're the main, I mean, we could call it 10, but the support is between 930 and 11 right here, like this region of where it bent back around. So I would look for it to catch itself, and my final risk point would be around this $9 mark. This resistance, this support, that's what I would be using as my major level. But I don't think this is done. I think this is a very strange overreaction to people maybe not fully understanding the news of what they were doing with their debt. Josh, message retracted. I like the mystery. Matt, sorry, I just 4 back, so got wrecked on ATR, broke 12, time to get out. I get in plays like these and we'll be way up, can manage to F up. Trubin. So just talking about ATR, I mean, the short interest is still there. It's still on the FTD list. It still has all those other things, and right now it's just kind of losing some of that price action. But with it, this is very, very representative of, you have to have your plan when you get into it. Like, I'm not a perfect trader, so I shouldn't be giving anyone advice on like when you should buy or when you should sell. I could tell you what I would do. And with ATR, I mean, I just pointed out the points that I would personally risk. And that's my risk point. I'm not saying it's a good or bad one. I'm just informing you that's where I would risk. You don't get into a play and then when it starts moving against you, start asking, okay, like when should I cut? Like, you should have that trading plan completely fleshed out way beforehand. Get lots of my African American listen to you to keep doing what you're doing. Your thoughts on VIH? Shout out D Green. VIH, just not barcoding. Looks very, very weird. I wouldn't say it's like bullish or bear. It shot up like kind of like the pump, the dump. It might be done. It's not really moving right now. It's not trading much volume. It seems like VIH has a low amount of interest currently. How does the impact is the fact that calls are drying up on AMC? I have 42 calls and 45 calls for tomorrow. I was looking ahead and noticed a lack of volume on calls moving forward, which is, so it just has low open interest, which that could happen. AMC relative to a normal stock still probably has, on a relative basis, high open interest. Maybe to AMC itself, it's currently having a lower open interest. But as you get closer to those expiration dates, you'll see people load up and the open interest will go higher. I agree. The 1 trillion item itself would be a MOS ignition. I think it's more of a CYA move to another items. Would be or wouldn't be. Like this bank thing, it's the overall market. Folks, I mean, this might be painful for some people to hear, but not everything that are like government and SEC and regulators do is related to AMC and GME. They do have like other things that they have to take care of. So like this bank injection, I don't see the relation to AMC and GME. It sounds like there's going to be potentially relations to the SPY and IWM and NASDAQ, but like a direct relation to AMC and GME, I'm not really seeing it. Sava, I think I got distracted from this. I'd like the gap fill up to 67.20. I really like that gap fill, 67.25, and I would still be looking at this gap fill up to 115, 116. Oh, Reach AWD, right? Retch AWD. No clue what your name is, but yeah, typo. I kind of figured that. ATER from a daily perspective, I would be watching 914 somewhere in between here. This is like what I would say is the level of demand. So we're not actually even at it yet. I'd be watching that. And maybe more than technicals, what might be reasonable and smart for anyone who has money in ATER is to hop into the 8K filing that came out and kind of understand. Because to me, when I read that 8K and when I read the write-up about it on Global Newswire, to me, this is screaming overreaction. But maybe you read something in the 8K and you're like, oh, wait, no, I don't like that. That's not good. It's time for me to get out. My interpretation of the 8K is that this is an overreaction. But once again, that's just my own, and like I highly, highly recommend, especially if you have money in the play, that you dive into it yourself because it's your money at stake. I don't have an ATER position, and I wanted one. I would have created one probably yesterday, but recently I just saved up capital to buy the dip in AMC and GME. But we're seeing this selling some weakness, but if I were in ATR, like, let's say I had unlimited capital and I did end up buying yesterday. Like I said, my risk point would have been what I just have drawn out for you. So right now I'd be like, oh, this sucks, but like I'm not going to be panicking because I already know my plan that this is my risk in this region between 914 and 11, just like where it's previously chopped right here. All right, what do we have? I heard the 1 trillion. Is this what you're talking about? Federal Reserve Board announces that individual capital requirements for all large banks effective on October 1st. Following its stress test earlier this year, the Federal Reserve Board on Thursday announced that individual capital requirements for all large banks effective on October 1st, those capital requirements ensure that the large banks tested will hold roughly 1 trillion in high quality capital, enough to survive severe recession and still be able to lend out to households and businesses. Okay, yeah. That, to me, so this is from the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve. Thank you for posting this, Em. I don't know. Whoever had like their sassy, like piss poor attitude earlier, I still, even reading it, I don't see the connection to AMC and Jimmy. If you ask me, it's exactly what it is. In the scenario of a severe market sell-off, it means that our banks still have liquidity and can still continue with their normal banking actions. And it more so just seems like, hey, if everything hits the fan, we want to protect the system in terms of an entire market sell-off. So to whoever like had that piss poor attitude before, now that I know more, I'm going to double down. I still don't see the connection to AMC and Jimmy like whatsoever. To me, it's a smart move. I like when the system is protected. It makes sense to me. It seems logical. It's nice to know that they're going to be backed up with money just so like to protect all of us. We don't want a huge market sell off and then people can't get money. You don't want banks to go under. Like to me, it's pretty logical. How much money is out there? Actually out there, that's a lot of trillions. So it specifically is stating high quality capital. So it sounds like even the banks, like maybe if they're just invested in blue chip stocks, like that could count of it. Like I don't know what does count as high quality and what doesn't count. But I'm assuming it's not like they have to have that much cash on hand. It sounds like they're able to have it, I would assume, in like bonds or high quality blue chip stocks, Microsoft, Apple, like those types of things, S&P 500, like that type, if I had to guess. It doesn't sound like they have to have that money like straight up in cash and in account. I'm a long investor in SUP and considering $10 calls for early 2020 if you have not financial advice on it. SUP. Well, right out of the gate, I'd be looking for that gap fill to 771. You're looking for 10. I think 10's a little far out. Like if you're confident in the stock and whatever it's doing, and you said you're long-term, you're looking at January 2022, I would probably watch more of the 9s just because like it's been there. It seems like 10 is it has been to 10. It's been to 13. 975. Okay, so I think you're looking at the 10s just because it was there somewhat recently in June. It's kind of a slower moving stock. That was June. You're talking January, so you're giving yourself October, November, December, 3 months, 4 months. It's a bet. It's a good bet, I would say. It depends on how confident you feel in the company. If you're confident, I just don't know much about it, so I can't say if I necessarily agree or disagree. But I can say in the shorter term, medium term, it's shown some strength. I want to see this gap fill to 771. I want to see it push above 8, and then from there, I'd be kind of watching the high 8s or $9. It's important to remind the community that Adam Aron will be selling some of his AMC shares for estate planning, so this will be not a surprise. Yes, that's a good point. So in the last earnings announcement, Adam Aron said that he would be using basically a 10B51 form. Basically, it's a pre-planned sell of shares. It's not like he's going to be sitting there one day and he's like, oh, I think this is a high price, I'm going to sell now. It's already pre-planned. And like you said, he's older, he's doing estate planning. So it sounds like he's going to slowly but surely start selling off his shares, which he's never ever done before. And if I had to bet, I bet there's going to be those headlines, AMC CEO like sells his stock. Like they're going to try to make it seem as if he's like no longer invested in the company and the movement, when in reality, this stuff has been in works for the while. And it has like in no way indication of like, oh, that's going to be the top and he wants to get out now. That's no way of what's going on. And I'm sure we're going to have to talk more about this like when those headlines hit, but we all know it's coming. It's important to remind all right, we did that. Hey man, we did that. What are your thoughts on Albertson's ACI? Do you think it's a late medium term hold? What's the next resistance and support? So in terms of like, is it long-term potential? I don't know, because I don't know about the company. In terms of support, 29.50, 27.80. Those are the two supports. Obvious resistance at 34. And that's kind of it. This is looking strong though. It shoots up, consolidates, shoots up, consolidates higher, it's shooting up again. I really like that. This seems like a layup of a trade. You use 29.50 as your risk and you're looking at the reward of 34, maybe chop some of your shares off there and see if you can get lucky in a breakout and a rally. All right, I think we're good there. We bounced right after you threw the limes on the charts. Coincidence? I doubt it. Cosmic, which shirt are you wearing? Looks legit. The duck shirt. The duck space shirt. It's just a new one. I don't even know if this one's in the store. We do a lot of like, I don't know, just testing of random ideas and stuff in the store. And this was one of them. I'll have to ask Austin if it's actually like there yet. All right, ACI. Well, that one is looking good. IWM 3 minute selling off a little bit. If my portfolio value is over 25K, but my own personal equity is below 25K, how does that work? Would it be restricted, or am I good to have my own personal equity? King, I don't know what you mean there. Like how... With PDT, it's just the value of your portfolio. I don't know what you mean by personal equity. Why is your portfolio value different than your personal equity? With PDT, let's say you have an account on Robinhood, Webull, E-Trade, whatever it is. Pattern day trading, it's your account value. If it's below 25,000, typically at the start of the day, you're going to be subject to PDT rules, but it's just like the value of your account. In personal equity. I'm just a little bit confused about the distinction between your portfolio value and your personal equity. He's on margin equity. Oh, okay. So you're saying your portfolio. Yeah. It can't be 25,000, including the margin from the broker. Like it has to be your money, like your, I see what you're saying. So, and shout out to the people who are helping here. So it sounds like the money you've put in is below 25, but because of the margin that they're lending you, you're above 25. No, like your money that's involved in the account has to be more than 25. That can be invested. It doesn't have to be invested, but like your own money has to be, or your own value has to be more than 25,000. I think that's what we're going for here. Oh, if you haven't already, quick reminder, I would appreciate it if you could drop a like, help out the stream, just get this promoted to some other people, as we have about 30 minutes to go in this beautiful power hour. AMC bouncing off of 39.93 up to 40.40. GME bouncing off of 191.70 up to 192.70. I would like to see the Qs push for 374. We might not be getting that, though. Might not be getting that by close. What does it mean when the candle is green and the volume bar is red? Also, I learned a lot today. Reddit isn't the best news source, but great memes. Not everything revolves around AMC and Jimmy. Can you find wife on dark pools? So I don't know if I've ever seen that. Whenever I see the volume bar, it's the exact same color of the candle, and that's like how it's deciding it. So for example, right here, like they're using the same color for both of them. Like as soon as the current price is below the open, it goes red. As soon as the current price is above the open of whatever bar you're looking at, it goes green. I've never seen a mismatch. I mean, the coloring of the trading candles is what decides also the coloring of the volume bars. Dear Duck Lords, stock ticker NMG. Monday, it's because of big potential. I'm not sure of the sector knowledge, but it will benefit EV. Can you speak on the news that broke today? They hate us because they ain't us. What are we looking at? NMG. I don't know off the top of my head the news. I think this is the one. Yeah, right here. So not being traded at all. There's almost like it filed a patent application. I don't see any news. Like the news I see, I think goes all the way back to August 13th. I'm not seeing any news on NMG, unfortunately. Excuse me. All right, let's stand up. Let's work on our six packs. Would we know if ATR shorts had covered yesterday into the squeeze to 18? If not, why wouldn't they just cover now onto weakness? We wouldn't know for sure until tomorrow. That would be the earliest that they could return those shares. But why wouldn't they cover now into weakness? Well, because what if they think there's more weakness? I guess like the opposite of that is, why don't you sell AMC into strength? Well, because you think it might go even higher. So for them, they might just think it could go even lower. Could you take a look at LPL? They are partnered with AMD and NVIDIA. I feel like they are very undervalued. LPL. Is this the right? Yeah. LG Display Co. American. What is this one? This is a foreign company, I guess. It's an ADR. I mean, I don't know if it's overvalued or undervalued. It sounds like that's a fundamental assessment of it. But it's just the trend is working against you, and I don't see any buyers really stepping in. I would want to see it get out of this downward trend before I considered getting it. What do I think about? They brought a lot today. Yeah, this one, you can see right here, American Depository Shares, ADR. That just means it's headquartered. It's running out of another company or country on their exchange, and then we're getting a piece of it. Can you put a lime or coconut or a bear riding a rocket on something on ATR chart? I need your help. A special Telser would appreciate. What's going on, Ben? What's ATR doing? Things are slowly but surely. We got to give this a lime. Let's give it a lime. Hope for the best. All right, AMC at 40, GME at 192. Kind of a boring day. Like AMC, it's actually now break even. So it was green all day, but AMC, even with it selling off relative to its opening price, it's break even on the day. This is exactly where it closed. Actually, we're technically green on the day right now. GME is also in the green. So I get that it obviously has not been the most fun day. Like, this stuff doesn't look that good, but these stocks are not in the red. So any green day is a good day. I just heard about your Whitewater wedding. Have you ever scheduled it? You even scheduled it on your birthday. Will Riley Reid be officiating reception at Texas Roadhouse? Shout out Chief Pew Pew. What else do we have going on here? Question is about reverse repos. All right. So AMC at 40 right here. ATER trying to bounce off of 1120, getting that push. We just want... So the S&P 500 is up 1.4%. The Qs are up 1.1%. IWM's 1.8%. So they are all up nicely. I'm just confused why usually the NASDAQ, the tech sector, outperforms the Russell 2000. But today the Russell 2000 was the one that outperformed them all, which I just found to be intriguing. All right, what else are people asking about? So many tickers. What is going on with Lucid? They had a good day yesterday, and today it is down. Oh, it's up 1.8%. It's Lucid. It's literally an inside day. There's no trend. There's no direction. It's just perfectly within yesterday's bar. It's in 2 days ago, but like, it's just after all this craziness, the technicals are cooling off. It's one of those things, consolidation, expansion. So we had some consolidation, expansion. We're back to consolidating. You just have to wait for this period to end to see the next trend direction. All right, Matt, please help. So I bought a VIXY put for 1950 strike for Friday. I was up 1,000% this afternoon. When I tried to sell it, it wouldn't fill. My expiration is tomorrow. What happened? VIXY or VIX? It was VIXY. So you got puts on this, which makes sense. When I tried to sell it, it wouldn't fill. It sounds like maybe just no one... If you want to get an immediate like exit, you would set your market price at the current buy. So you have to look at the bid ask spread. And if you want to get out rapidly, you would just set your price to the bid and you would get out. I think that might be your issue there, White. Is just the price you're trying to get out at. There might not just be any offers or like any sitting buy orders. So just check out the bid ask. If you want out immediately, just look at the bid, set your price for that, and you should get a fill. Did people take vacation AMC volume? So I haven't seen it in this low in a long time. Very, very low volume on AMC. Extraordinarily low, 38. Low volume, high volume. People try to tell you that it's either bullish or bearish. I don't think it is. When I see low volume, I just see low conviction. And when I see high volume, I see high conviction. You can't associate low volume or high volume with bullishness or bearishness. You can in certain circumstances, like if you have a technical breakout or breakdown on high volume, you could say, okay, like this breakout and or breakdown is confirmed. On low volume days, it's just low volume. It's low volatility. Can you show some good stocks that might be good for a Christmas tree butterfly option trade? How do you screen for good opportunities? Unfortunately, I have not heard of a Christmas tree butterfly options trade, so I don't know if I'd be able to I don't know what that is. I don't know if you just made that up or if that's a legitimate thing, but I've never heard of a Christmas tree butterfly options trade. Sounds extreme though. All right. ATR, buyer stepping in. Flexing, flexing, flexing. What's the current length time frame? 60-ish days, right? For AMC, it's about 67 days, 65 days, something like that, the mid 60s. And then I think GME is like the upper 30s. All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. All right, ATR, quick 80-cent bounce. That's crazy. But let's see if it can get back up to the 13s, 14s, 15s. Let's see how much damage it can do in 20 minutes. She's a runner. She's a track star. I would love for the markets to show a little bit more strength in the close. I'm using the ring method, not selling till the price is a phone number. Oh, here we go. All these people. ATR is here to distract from AMC. Where do people come up with this stuff? Like, if you have that opinion, just keep it to yourself, because there's so many other traders and people making money and trading and learning that really don't care about this. This whole concept of this is a distraction from that. Like, what? Grow up. No one cares. That's it. It's wrong. Like, this isn't even an opinion. Like, you are actually verifiably wrong to say that something is a distraction. There's 6,000 highly traded stocks in the stock market. There's crypto. People are making money. If you call something a distraction, you're wrong, and you're also jealous. Like, there's no room in the middle. Like, I'm not going to say, like, oh, like, maybe this one is a distraction or that one is a distraction. No, it's the people who are saying that, they don't know what they're talking about. They're new to the market. They're ill-informed, and they're jealous. They're jealous, they're jealous, they're jealous. There's, like, nothing else that could break that down. It very much feels like, I don't know, some, like, just weird group. I don't know. Like, it's the market. Let people trade. If you have that opinion, go somewhere else. All right. Actually, because I'm so petty, let me find that person. I don't even want him to change his mind. I just want to kick him out. I wish I kicked him before. Ah, man. Where are you? Oh, found you. Joe, bye. Hide user. Gone. Done. Got rid of him. See ya. He's so mad. I kicked him. His final message was, go for it, D-bag. We got him. Banned. Banished into the abyss. He could go hang out on some other random ass live stream. Everyone say bye to Joe. Gone forever. I can say 100% Matt's a distraction from my 9-to-5 work duties. I don't know. It's a bold strategy to run a social media brand this way. There's not too many people who are so ban happy as I am, but I love it. Something about it. The power it gives me. The power it gives the mods. It's a power trip. It is. I think everyone in their life should do a live stream or on any social media and just start blocking and banning people. The emotional release in the entire situation, it's fascinating. I haven't banned someone in a while, and I think on most days, like if I was recently banning people, I think Joe would have been fine. I really do. I would have been like, oh, he's like ill-informed. Like, he just doesn't know about the market. That happens. But today, it's been a while. It's been a lot of days since I've banned someone. So I was itching to make sure that my guillotine was still sharpened. Joe is Greg's friend. Joe is Madman. Yeah, Joe needs a couple extra seats. Now he could go like hang out. in someone else's live stream and like bitch and moan there. Distract me all you want. I'm wanting one of these 4 charts to eat the dang lime. Bye, Joe. Joe mama. Joe is Rico. If I sell ATR put, if you sell an ATR put and then buy an ATR call or shares in the same day, does that count as pattern day trading? No, that would be a distinct position. Joe Kramer. See ya, not a Trader Joe. Yeah, he obviously doesn't work at Trader Joe's. He works at Distraction Joe's. Chase Wilcox. Shout out Chase. Most of my capital is tied up in the ticker symbol WIFE. I had a small amount of capital and threw it into ATR and tried to get some more ammo for AMC. Shout out. It's been exactly a week since the last ban. Yeah, I don't know. It's sad. Like, I feel as much as I try to get away from it, I can't. I'm addicted to it. I love banning people. Sounds like what I used to do on Halo Friendly Fire, then boot them when they fight back. Power trip. AMC has been an entry point for some of us, but it's insane to think that AMC should be our only focus. What a ridiculously myopic take, regardless of whether we reinvest into AMC. Yeah, I mean, it's childish. People are trying to make money. They're trying to do what they can to improve their own financial situation. And if you're like, oh, I get that, but like, what's the other argument? Is the argument that no other stocks are being like manipulated and abused by Wall Street? Because like, if that's the argument, oh boy, do I have some information for other people out there. Yeah, no, it's actually way beyond AMC and GME. Whoa, what is this? Wait, Jackie? What's happening? Jackie, are you like, what just happened there? Jackie, did you just go Rico on us? What is this, man? Why was there just like a mass amount of message drops? What just happened, Jackie? Jackie went rogue on us. What is life? What is going on? I think Jackie is Rico. Jackie has gone rogue. Oh man. I think what I don't know if emotionally I could handle today of all days finding out that Jackie went Rico. Feeling the power. Oh man, the chaos. We here in Moon Gang, the apes that hang out in the Moon Gang, we thrive in chaos. And this is what we need. It's just chaos 100% of the time, all times, never stopping. And Jackie just like machine gun like 15 comments in a row. No questions asked, Jackie. Oh man. I don't know. That would probably be one of the biggest twists in my career. It really would. Finding out if Jackie was actually Rico or if Rico was actually Jackie. It would be... my brain would break. I don't think I would actually come back from it. The Rico virus. Okay, Rico. Hey, Matt, if people started buying AMC now, would it flip from red to green before close? If a lot of people bought, for sure. But also AMC's, it's only barely red. It's down by 9 cents. So like it wouldn't take much buying. Matt, with an average of $8 on AMC, my only real concern is whether or not it's time to rip some heads in COD this evening. I can't tonight. I just so much to do. I wish I could play it more. I just time. So much to do. There's only 24 hours in the day, and we need more. So any of my time calendar people out there, I argue there should be more hours in a day. Jackie Rico. They all support, oh, this is back to that, the display company. They also support HDMI 2.1 with next generation consoles, and a lot of monitors do not. That's why I feel like they are undervalued. Hey, I mean, that's a good thesis. Like, if you feel confident in that thesis, I mean, capitalize on it. Like, there's no reason not to. I just don't know, like, enough about it. But if you're feeling good about it, I mean, have at it. Have at it. All right, 350. How do you identify gap fill so quickly? I mean, you're gonna get like very good at it, but like for example, like it's just I'm just looking at a big hole in the chart. So like here, let me drop all this stuff so it's not distracting. But on JOBY, I mean, the gap is pretty, like it's just a gap. And the more you look at charts, the better you're going to get at it. But I could be like, okay, there's a gap all the way up to whatever this low is, 1132, and then there's a gap down to whatever this high is of $10 flat. But I just look for the big holes in the chart. The Rico virus. Okay, Rico. I'm sending you some CBD products to distribute to your mods. They should calm them down a little bit. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Why is there an issue? Is it back? Am I back? Hello, friends? I have officially loaded up on XRP. Shout out M. JTH Matt Gruber. What a movie. What a movie that is. Ooh. Whoa. You froze for a second. All right. You never left. You are back. You never left. Jackie's at you. Jackie, my mods, they escaped the basement. They're coming against me now. All right. We are in the final, 7 minutes. And I just want to give you that quick, notification. Just because if you are battling with PDT and you're trying to make a trade today, just so it doesn't count against you tomorrow, you only have a handful of minutes left. Entire U.S. internet is terrible lately. Watch it all crap out conveniently during the squeeze. That would be something. That would be insane if that were to play out in that mannerism. That would be crazy. I guess the Qs are selling into close. That's super not cool. I don't know. Like there is a storm going on in the Northeast. Maybe it's because of that like the internet's a bit wonky. That's like the second or third time we froze today. BlackRock was never a friend. They were just our allies of convenience. I think that's true. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is just a friend, keep them close. Matt, is there a way to see how AMC has done historically on Fridays? Yeah, so actually we've done those odds of the best day to buy, and the best single day hold, as in you buy it opening and you sell at the next trading day's opening, is Friday. Statistically, over the past 6 months, the best performance of AMC has been holding through the weekend. Buying Friday morning, selling Monday morning is the best individual one-day hold, with Wednesday being the worst one. Wednesday morning to Thursday morning is historically the worst performance, which is also interesting because the singular best day or a top 3 day we've seen in AMC was also a Wednesday. So kind of interesting. Who is this guy? I'm going to ban someone else. Lucifer Cortez Martinez, the 8th. You are now Lucifer Cortez Martinez the eighth, who is bye-bye forever. We just unalived him. Never coming back. Never coming back. Ever, ever, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Lucifer Martinez Cortez Martinez the eighth, you are hereby banished forever. Been here since May. Got you to run a 10K. Still bummed you haven't taken my skydive offer. Be a beautiful year to be named. Tim B, I would I want to skydive. I guess I don't know like where I would have to show up and go, but I'll do it. I've done it once before. I think it'd be fun to do it again. So you're saying I still have a chance on my 42 calls? Wait, Joe. I mean, honestly, with AMC to move $2, like if your bet is like, oh, a $2 movement, yeah, like you definitely have a shot. Have you tried Celsius drinks? I have not. I subscribe to them monthly, but I also keep buying puts lately. Can we do a technical? So you're like, I buy the product, but I'm betting against the company. Hang on. What is it? Celsius Holdings. You're buying puts, but you buy their product. Oh, are you just looking for a reversion? Because the stock is strong. I mean, if this breaks above 100, I mean, it almost hit a new all-time high today.
Welcome to the Moon Gang.
100. Yeah, I mean, your closest support is 86. Your closest resistance is 99. But like, this is going to be its highest closed ever today. So like the way when I'm like, oh, like maybe it's not the best idea to catch a falling knife. This is trying to catch like a rocket almost. So I would be a little bit careful with those puts. AMC call buys outweighed the puts by over 3-1. Shout out Wall Street Viking. Nadak. NADAQ. Becoming an astronaut. Shout out. Matt, congrats on your bar mitzvah this weekend. Thank you. All of the holidays, all of the life events are for me this weekend. With this one, I mean, it is overextended. Now you're almost making me want to go try the drink, like go buy some tonight and see what all the hubbub about, because this stock is just ripping. All right, AMC at $40. This lime, we need the lime to work. Jimmy 191. We see IWM, the Qs and SPY all taking a little bit of a breather. Like they moved on the day, but they're taking a breather down now. All right, who do we have here? Now, like when I get banning people, like I don't know, sometimes I wonder, I'm like, well, are they doing it to just get banned themselves, or do they like really mean it? All right. Ooh, well, that position went against me. Stupid NASDAQ. What are you doing? Dumb NASDAQ? Would you ever consider doing a 10-minute montage, screenshots only with background music of various chats, immediately awarding them with a ban? Yeah, for sure. Paul, big ball Paul. Big balls Paul. Paul Walsh is back. What up, Moon Gang? What's going on, Paul? For those of you who don't know about Paul, he has a lot of AMC. Paul, you missed some fun bands lately. Some high-octane activity bands. Read the normal chat. Okay, Dave. Oh, okay, Dev. I'm so slow to pay Pennyboy for this. All right. Fahrenheit tastes better than Celsius. All right. Get ready. We have about 15 seconds until market close. Do big Balls need a lawnmower 4.0. Mr. Bootleg. He needs multiple. Next drink, Kelvin. I dare you to eat peas with me. I really don't ever want to eat peas again. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is closed. Closed. Folks. Another one in the books. This one today, let's chalk this up to Thursday, September 23rd. AMC, break even on the day, down by 10 cents. GME, break even on the day, up by $1. The markets were all in the green. Hey, I know relative to our open today, like people are like, well, like you probably feel like not the best about it. Like I can sense the emotion a little bit, but it's actually a flat day. Like any green or flat day is good for us because the shorts still pay a cost to borrow, and then it's a day that they're not beating down the stock. If you own AMC stock, okay, like it didn't cost you anything. Like it was just another day and nothing really happened. Any neutral to green day is very, very good for us. If you are perhaps getting burned on some options, you might just be playing them a little bit too close or maybe not in the most ideal environment. So that's why I always like to remind you, if you're playing options, whatever time you think you need, just double it. That's a solid rule of thumb in my opinion. Right out of the gate, just double up. Remember, if you want to avoid market makers and no payment for order flow, no dark pools, sign up for public.com/Matt Kohrs. It is attached, or it's pinned to the top of chat. If you want some crypto, if you're trying to get in on this crypto bounce right now, wow, Hex is really moving. If you're trying to get in on the crypto bounce, download Voyager. Voyager and Public are both phone apps. Voyager, the code is MAT21, MAT21. You'll get free Bitcoin when you start trading on Voyager, and you'll get free stock when you create your account on Public and start trading there. Overall, crypto is looking good. The markets are good. AMC and GME are moon stocks. They're neutral on the day, which is actually a win for us. So here is the dealio. I will be posting a update video right here. I'll be posting an update video on Kohrs Lite, just so you guys all know. If you just search YouTube Kohrs Lite, it's just been a problem with YouTube of uploading too much content to the main channel. So we're going to just be doing it here, and we're really stepping up the thumbnail game. We got some Zoolander, some Gandalf, some teaching, some new stuff, some Game of Shorts. So I'm testing this out just to see if it's better. And it really just relates to how much YouTube will notify your viewers of when you actually load something up in the day. This is just a little bit of info I got from Trey, and he suggests I try this out. So I'm going to give it a whirl, because when it comes to YouTube, Trey definitely knows what he's talking about. So anyway, check it out. Kohrs Lite, KOHRZLITE. This is not a paid thing. It's completely free. There's money's not involved. It's as free as my normal channel is. It's just a different place for content to live that might be a little bit more reasonable. The plan today, update video tonight, streaming tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, no matter if the stock's up, down, or sideways, I can only do the morning stream, just so everyone knows. I will not be streaming Friday, like the afternoon session tomorrow, just a morning stream. I don't want anyone to like freak out and think I'm like ditching on the community. So I called it out last week. I'm reminding you now, tomorrow will be a morning stream, but not an afternoon stream. Just friendly reminder for everyone. So crack of dawn, right when the farmers get up, we'll be streaming at 9 a.m. Update video tonight. And other than that, thank you for all the support today. Another BEA beautiful day to be an ape. I truly appreciate all the support, all the likes, subs, kind comments. You guys are truly the best. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll be catching you later tonight. And remember, for me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.